Hello everybody, this is your boy Mr. What If speaking, and I'm here to bring you a brand new little video on my YouTube channel today. So this is going to be another part of what if Deku had Sanji's powers, or abilities, whatever you want to call it, part 4, and a very quick recap was that Deku passed the Mr. Aizawa's test and everything, and he also gave Iida an opportunity to become stronger and a better character. So yeah, that was pretty much of the fastest recap I ever give myself. I'll say that was a good 4 seconds. So yeah. So we'll cut to the part of the US. We're going to be going over the USJ in the beginning, if I have enough time, to beginning of the sports festival. So let's begin the USJ. So the USJ will go similar, but except the bus part. On the bus, Suyu, I believe Froppy, I believe I said her name right, her actual name Suyu. She says that Deku's quirk is similar to Ingenium and Iida's family. And then he said, yeah, except the thing is, I don't have engines. And then Iida would say, what's wrong with having engines for a quirk? Sorry if you guys heard that. That was something going downstairs. But other than that, yeah. And then Deku says there's nothing wrong with having engines. It's just that it make your quirk look a little bit more flashier than mine, but except, hey, I guess basic does have more power. And then Iida would say, well, it's only that if you think it that way. This is when Deku would give off a chuckle and laugh a little bit, saying, you might be right. And then the whole thing of the USJ happens, similar in canon, with the whole Hero 13, the whole villains attacking, until the point where the class gets split up and everything. So that happens the same as canon, except the difference is that Deku was able to get them out of there quickly and creating the same wind tunnel, except using his legs and more power. So yeah, everything goes similar until the part of All Might versus the Nomu in the beginning. So this is how the whole fight would go down. All Might versus the Nomu, it would start off similar as in canon, with the whole thing happening similar in canon, until the point where Deku sees All Might get injured. Deku sees All Might get injured, and then this is when Deku would rush in to try to defend All Might a little bit. And Deku actually is doing some decent damage to the Nomu. And yeah. So right now, Deku and the Nomu are just going at it, blow for blow, swing for swing. Deku kicking, the Nomu punching. They're trying to grab and block. Deku is just blocking and kicking, doing fancy styles. And Todoroki is just staring at how fluently Deku's moves are, just how his moves and how he spins and jumps are so on par that it looks like that he takes ballet classes. And then Shigaraki is seeing this, seeing that how fast this kid is moving and how much damage this kid is doing to the Nomu, even though the Nomu has shock absorption. And Deku was realizing this, that this monstrosity must have some kind of shock absorption quirk or something. This weird looking monster must have some type of shock absorption, because he's seeing that every time he hits the Nomu takes the damage, but then it looks like it didn't even get hit at all. So Deku is starting to figure out the Nomu's quirk. And this is when Deku gets a little bit of a hunch in the back of his head. This is when Deku would use a Windblade kick, actually spinning his leg at perfect speed, and sending his leg right now. Sorry about that. Deku's leg right now looks like a freaking drill, like due to the power and speed he's pushing. Now with Deku's leg looking like a drill, he would go in for not really much of an attack. He'll go for a slash attack, and then Deku actually gives the Nomu a cut on his wrist, and then he sees that the Nomu is healing, so the Nomu must have a healing quirk. And if his hunch was right about the Nomu healing on its own, he must have a longer extension of healing if he was made to kill All Might. Now, Deku and the Nomu are just going at it. Just going for it. They don't even care right now. They're just going for it. It looks at this point like they're literally missing each other. And then the fight right now is starting to turn into the fight where Sanji went up against that werewolf guy. I forgot his name. If you have seen that episode in One Piece where Sanji versus that guy that turned into a werewolf, yeah, that's basically the fight right now, except with a more stronger opponent and more action. So yeah, Deku is giving it all he's got. He's just going for it. He doesn't even care right now. Deku is just going ham, just wailing on the Nomu with kicks, with barrage of kicks and all of that. He's using fire. Sorry about that. He's using fire, electricity, wind. He's just going for it. He's using combos of fire, electricity, fire and wind electricity, wind, fire, and electricity. He's just going for it. He doesn't even care. He's over here he's just doing it. He doesn't even care no more. His movesets were going from perfect to looking sloppy. He doesn't even care if his moveset, that his move and speed and all of that good stuff is just looking like he's unexperienced. He doesn't even care right now. He just want to take out the Nomu. He looks like a freaking brawler right now, except with his legs. Instead of punching, he's kicking. He's just going ham. He does not give a flying F-U-C-K. He does not care. He's just going for it. He is just driving it. And then this is when Shigaraki would have enough. This is when Shigaraki would have enough and yell the Nomu's name, yelling out, "Nomu! Kill that kid!" Sorry about that. This is when Shigaraki would yell out saying, "Nomu! Kill that kid now!" This is when the Nomu would grab Deku's leg and punch Deku repeatedly 10 times. Which that 10 time was equivalent to a 50-time punch. Due to the speed of how fast the Nomu was punching Deku like a punching bag, the speed of it made it look like the punch. If this was animated like an anime, the speed of the punch, how fast the Nomu was punching Deku when he was holding Deku by the leg, how fast he was punching Deku would look like he punched Deku 10 times, but he actually punched Deku 50 times. If it was animated like an anime. So yeah. And then the Nomu would fling Deku over toward Tsuyu. And then this is when Tsuyu would say, "Deku, you don't have to keep going. You can just stop right here. You don't have to sacrifice your life right now just to show that you're stronger." And then this is when Deku would get up and he will cough out blood. He's bleeding from his nose, his mouth. Deku does not care. And then this is when Deku would say, "No matter what, I will show all my opponents. I don't care how strong my opponents are. I don't care how OP they might be. I don't give a damn. I'm going to show everyone in this world what real muscle looks like." And this is when Deku would say, this is when Deku would start to buff up his legs, and then this is when Deku legs would buff up a little bit, would start to show the muscles buffing up, like he's flexing really hard. Like you can see like the muscles like pop out from his legs and calves and all that. And this is when Deku would speed dash toward the Nomu, moving at accelerating speed. And this is when Deku would kick the Nomu, sending the Nomu flying back. The Nomu catches himself, runs towards Deku, punches Deku. The Deku gets sent back. And this is just going on, repeatedly, back and forth. They're just massive. They're just getting ready to massacre each other. And then this is when the Nomu gets one clean uppercut on Deku, sending Deku flying up into the air. And this is when Deku would airwalk, kick, propelling himself back to the Nomu, getting a clean kick on the Nomu in his face. And this is when the Nomu would start to bleed from the little opening part where the brain is. And then Deku would say, out of this whole time I was kicking you like hell, that was your freaking weakness? How pitiful. And then, yeah, Deku is just realizing this. So Deku is just punching and punch. No, not punching. He's kicking and kicking and kicking. Right now, I'm thinking about a whole nother what if. I'm thinking about a whole nother what if I started. Alright, so Deku is just kicking and kicking and kicking and stuff. So, yeah, Deku really doesn't care for much at this point. He's just, yeah. So I'll say that Deku was what? Deku was basically it was literally kicking the guy rapidly fast and all of that. So yeah, Deku really doesn't care in all of that sense. So I'll say yeah. So, but I will say that is Deku. Deku's actually giving the Nomu a lot of pain and doing a lot of damage. And this is when we will cut to the heroes coming in and getting and doing the whole thing, taking down whatever villains that are left. The heroes would come with Iida, and Iida would be the first one to spot Deku getting demolished by the Nomu. And then Iida would reciprocal burst towards Deku. Well, not towards Deku, to the Nomu. And then this is when Iida would say reciprocal burst turbo times 2. And then this is when Iida's engines would start bursting out blue like turbo. Like, you know how when Iida does reciprocal burst? I am sorry. I am so sorry. You know how Iida does reciprocal burst, and then when he does, you see like the flames come out of the pipe? Yeah. So instead of it being blue, like how reciprocal burst would be, it's actually looking blue with a mixture of purple flames. And Iida would, of course, yell out reciprocal burst turbo times 2. And instead of blue, it's blue. It's blue flame coming out of the pipe, but it's also a mixture of a little bit. You can see like electricity spark from the engines. I'm sorry, I am walking back from the store. I'm literally walking back from the store. Sorry if you hear all the cars and everything. So yeah, Deku is basically, no, Iida, he is using reciprocal burst, but you can see, like, this time you can see the reciprocal burst, but when he said it, you see electricity, like yellow electricity yellow electricity form around the pipes and all of that, and his cabs and all of that, and then he's just charging, like moving incredibly fast, moving 10 times, he's moving 10 times he's moving 10 times faster than he would be able to do in canon. And he kicked, this is when Iida comes out of nowhere with a devastating kick to the gut in the Nomu, sending the Nomu knock back far, like 50 feet. Like, Iida came out of nowhere and said, get your hands off Deku and back up 50 feet. Like, Iida really came out of nowhere. Like, if it was animated, you see how savage how brutal and savage like that kick was if it was animated. And then Deku would tell Iida, you must have been training with the guy I told you to go train with. And then Iida said, well, maybe just a few times, maybe. Well, I went to the guy 2 weeks and I picked up on his training quite well. It was quite easy and frequently to learn. And then Deku said, I know, right? This is when Deku would get up and Iida would take off the armor. And you guys are saying, why is Iida taking off his armor? Well, due to that armor does... Well, Iida is wearing heavy armor, and heavy armor does slow down people, especially if their power or ability is to move incredibly fast or have incredibly fast reaction time. So Iida would take off his armor, except for the legs part of the armor, and yeah. So what Iida would look like without the armor was just... He would keep the helmet on, of course. It's just that Iida's wearing... It's just a blue spandex suit with the Ingenium's helmet and leg materials, like the bottom part. Like, it's his engines, and then down from the engines is where the rest of the armor suit part is. And then, of course, the helmet. So, yeah, but other than that, the rest of the armor is just off, and it looks like blue spandex. And then Deku would take off his coat and his t-shirt, and then you can see like the bruise marks on Deku's chest and everything. And then Iida said, "You really sure you want to do this?" And then Deku would tell Iida that he really wants to do this, and he's ready to go all out if you're ready. This is when Deku and Iida would dash towards the Nomu and start double teaming on the Nomu like crazy. They're literally playing ping pong with the freaking Nomu. Like they're playing baseball, ping pong, badminton. They're playing soccer. Or a few people call it foosball. They're playing everything. They're just playing with the Nomu. They're just kicking the Nomu back and forth like a goddamn soccer ball. They're just kicking him back and forth. Iida's using Reciprocal Burst Turbo ×2. Deku is just using his buffed up legs covered in flames and electricity. And this is when Iida would say Reciprocal Burst ×Turbo, Turbo Dry ×Turbo, ×Turbo. Iida would say Reciprocal Burst Turbo ×2 Drive, and Deku would yell out Electrical Wind, would yell out his new move, Electrical Wind Hawk, and then both of these attacks collide with Shen of true power combined with speed and power and strength, and then they will both devastatingly kick the Nomu, sending him flying. And the power of both of their kicks collide is 75% of All Might's punch, what he did to... is equivalent to All Might's punch, what he did to the Nomu with Cannon. And then the Nomu would do the same thing like it was in Cannon, except instead of all of that power, the Nomu would move 2 times faster than he did in Cannon when All Might punched him out into like outer freaking orbit. Except the Nomu would move faster, but it wouldn't be that much power like All Might put into it. The Nomu would just be rocketing faster, but not to like outer space where All Might freaking punched him. He would just be flying out of the building, and then he would land in the middle of the street, and his brain power would probably get like stabbed by a pole or something, or a guy showing off like his blade quirk or his like hardening quirk, and then the Nomu crashes into him and his brain gets destroyed, something like that. Or the Nomu bumps into Stain and Stain finishes off. Oops, I just gave away a spoiler. Just pretend you didn't hear me talk about Stain killing the Nomu. No, just pretend you never heard about that. Just pretend you did not hear about that. Okay, continuing. So, Iida and Deku, and then this is when Deku said, "You didn't do too bad, Iida," and Iida said, "You didn't do too bad yourself." And this is when Deku would pass out. Iida would quickly run to get Deku to the get him to the emergency, and yeah. Wow, I can't believe I was going to take this long because I really wanted to start the beginning of the freaking freaking sports festival. I wanted to start the beginning of that right here in this part, but I guess I can wait till next part. And so can you guys. And forget I said anything about Stain killing the Nomu. Alright? You did not hear that. You did not hear that spoiler. You did not. But you will hear this. Peace out, fams. Until next time, it is your boy DJ. It is your boy DJ. It is your boy DJ, aka known as Mr. What If. Until then, my fam, peace out.